Bahama. I'm Joan Davis for that story coming up. Believing in yourself, that's the message the nation's chief brought to Grand Bahama for the first National Training Agency graduation ceremony. That story coming up in the Bahamas tonight.
The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. Topping the news tonight, aviation officials are investigating a fatal plane crash which occurred today off the north coast of Grand Bahama. Joan Davis Roll has the details.
An aviation tragedy has resulted in the loss of life. Early Monday, officials were notified that there were no survivors, as all persons on board perished and their bodies were recovered from the wreckage of the ill-fated Cessna 340 aircraft inbound from Florida. Officials say while on approach from Florida into Grand Bahama, something went tragically wrong, as the private aircraft they were on suddenly fell from the sky.
Shortly after 10 a.m., police control room received a phone call from control tower and reported that a twin-engine Cessna plane had crash-landed some 5 miles off from Freeport, Grand Bahama. Initial report is that the plane has landed in some shallow waters, and it is believed that 3 males, Caucasian, may have been in that aircraft. At this time, Police Defense Force, Basra, EMS, everybody's on board now, trying to assist in a rescue mission.
Bahamas SC rescue officials say they were hoping it would be a search and rescue effort, but within minutes they were forced to shift their mission to search and recovery, searching for not only 3 bodies, but 4. Basra Executive Justin Snisky.
We immediately launched our vessels in the area. We had 3 people on board a vessel. We proceeded to the area location. Due to the shallow waters in the area, extreme shallow, low tide approaching, we were unable to get very close to it. We had a Good Sam aircraft out of the air traffic control, diverted them. They came by, gave us a direct guiding course to it. Our vessel was able to approach near the vicinity of the aircraft, make way by foot to the aircraft, where unfortunately it was discovered there was no survivors on board.
Officials say the recovery efforts were impeded as low tide played a factor as they attempted to get to the mangled wreck.
Emergency rescue team just came back. They gave us an update, debriefing on the situation. Unfortunately, due to the conditions and the shallow waters that we had out there, they were unable to do a recovery at that time. We've spoken with the U.S. Coast Guard, who had a helo in the area. They did an on-scene check for us, confirming what we confirmed on the ground. At this time, our efforts with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Marine Division, and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, the heads to be, we came together and we came up with another approach. We're getting a flatboat so we can get out close to the area. We can get approximately within about half a mile of the aircraft at this time. With the flatboats, we're going to deploy personnel in the water and have them proceed to drag the flatboats to the scene and try to make the recovery.
After hours of attempting to recover the bodies, it was shortly before 4 p.m. when their mission was a success.
As far as we're concerned, from Basra's standpoint, it's an unfortunate, tragic day that happened, an event that happened, and our thoughts and prayers do go out to the family of the victims.
The identity of the crash victims are being withheld pending notification of next of kin. Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
Tonight, the Minister of Transport and Aviation, Glenys Hannah Martin, is responding to the tragic plane crash. The minister spoke with ZNS News following the morning session at the House of Assembly in the nation's capital.
Before lunch, the luncheon break, we were told that there were 3 fatalities. We're now being told there's possibly a 4th, and so it's now a matter under the investigation of the police, the Department of Civil Aviation, and we expect at some point international aviation, the United States Aviation Authorities. It's a U.S. registered aircraft.
The Bahamas National Training Agency holding its first graduation ceremony on Grand Bahama today. The program was designed to tackle the high unemployment problem among the youth, as well as for those who fell through the academic crack of formal schooling. As Shashina Roll reports, the nation's chief was on hand to deliver the address to the 170 Bahamians who took part in the program.
When you walk out of here, just remember one thing: I believe in me. And this is the first step I'm taking in my life.
After 14 weeks of comprehensive training, graduates of the National Training Agency have been retrained, retooled, and equipped to face the workforce. The nation's leader, Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie, in a heartfelt and compelling address, emphasized to the graduating class the importance of believing in themselves.
No matter who tries to tell you you can't do it, it can't happen, you ain't smart, you must believe in yourself. Remember that now. Hear that. Even if your mommy or your daddy tells you you can't do it, it can't happen, I have no money, I can't get you to go to the next stage, you must believe in yourself.
He used his life as an example.
At the age of 14, I got put out of school. And I left in school some of the people who now work for me. And they told me when I got put out of government high school, I was being put out because it was clear I could not learn. Now, I could have given up.
But he instead rose to the highest office in the country, Christie telling the graduates that sometimes you get knocked down, but have to get back up.
Because if you get back up, then you're doing the right thing, because you're measuring your character, measuring your capacity, measuring the discipline in your life, measuring this belief in yourself by the fact that you might get knocked down once, twice, 3 times, but you keep on getting back up because you know one day, and that's what I've really come to say to you.
But he says parents have a part to play as well.
To the parents in this room, talk to your children. Make them know that you believe in them. Tell them no matter how rocky the start was, there's a new beginning. And keep on pumping that into them.
Now that the graduates have completed the program, the next step is to look for employment. As the nation's leader encouraged the private sector to employ these young persons, he also gave orders to the executive director of the National Training Agency, Agatha Marcel.
Track them to see who didn't get jobs. And keep on a priority list for the government the necessity for students who have gone through training to find work. And we must be aggressive in seeking out opportunities for them, because the credibility of the program is entirely connected to training people, conditioning them for jobs, and getting them those jobs.
Some of the companies who have partnered with the National Training Agency program have in fact hired some of the graduating students today. Now, registration for the second cycle of the National Training Agency program is slated to begin later this year. Shashina Roll, ZNS Network News.
The Minister of Labor, National Insurance, and the Public Service, the Honorable D. Shane Gibson, also traveled to Grand Bahama for the National Training Agency's graduation. He congratulated those who took up the challenge of being a part of the first set of trainees on Grand Bahama.
You, the graduates, have excelled in your training and have every reason to be proud today. 170 plus young people from all over Grand Bahama, East End to West End, participated in the 4-week mandatory workforce preparatory program, which is designed to influence positive attitudinal and behavioral transformation. More than 135 of you completed skills training, which included internships with various companies and customer service in class instruction for City and Guilds certification.
He says this program was designed to counteract high unemployment among the youth through training.
Heed the words of the former Prime Minister of Britain, Sir Winston Churchill, who once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." With that said, I encourage you to be courageous in your pursuits for excellence on your journey to success.
The graduation ceremony was held at the Grand Lucayan Resort. In other news, the Constitutional Commission is responding to the concerns expressed by Bahamians regarding aspects of the compendium of bills on gender equality. There are 4 separate bills being debated in the House of Assembly. However, Bill number 2, which seeks to enable a Bahamian woman who marries a foreign man to secure for him access to Bahamian citizenship, and the 4th bill, which is intended to end discrimination based on sex, whether male or female, have become contentious issues. After meetings over the weekend, the Commission has made some adjustments to the proposed amendments. Chairman of the Commission, Sean McQueenie, said the amendments were only to end gender-based discrimination and not allow same-sex marriage. Under the latest proposed changes to the Constitution, question number 1 says, a child born outside of the Bahamas would become a Bahamian citizen at birth if either its mother or father is a citizen of the Bahamas by birth. Question 2 says, the foreign spouse of a Bahamian citizen would be able to apply for and obtain citizenship subject to satisfying the existing national security and public policy considerations and new provisions guarding against marriages of convenience. Question 3 says, a Bahamian father of a child born out of wedlock would be able to pass his citizenship to that child subject to legal proof that he is the father. And question 4 says, it would be unlawful to discriminate based on sex, and sex would be defined as meaning male or female. Stay with us, there's more news after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. 2 major players in the insurance industry coming together to celebrate a significant milestone this past Friday. Summit Insurance Company is celebrating 20 years of service in the Bahamas. Director and General Manager Tim Ingram says, over the years, the fully Bahamian-owned entity has been providing its customers with the stability and security they need. He says the company is going strong and continues to grow.
We got started in 1994 with startup capital of $5 million. Over the years, we've been fortunate to grow it to $22 million. As I said, we're 100% Bahamian owned, and we're proud of that. We have been through quite a few of the storms, 2004, 1999, 2005. And so we feel we're battle tested. We feel that the 20 years, we've gotten stronger every one of those 20 years.
Insurance Management has partnered with Summit since the formation of the company. Branch Manager at Insurance Management, James Carey.
20 years ago, the insurance industry in the Bahamas started going through a lot of changes, and that international insurance companies began pulling out. And Insurance Management, in order to continue to be viable, decided that it should participate in the formation of an insurance company, and Summit then came into being. So Insurance Management is an agency, the sales arm. Summit is the insurance company. They actually take the risk. We are their only agent. It's an arrangement that works perfectly. It makes us exceedingly viable and aggressive in our market.
Public relations consultant Peter Adderley says Summit and Insurance Management is a combination you can trust.
A lot of people in business like the intake, but Summit and Insurance Management partnership proves that if you're insured with this combination, they have the ability to look after you in the best and worst times. And so it's a wonderful marriage, and it really speaks to stability, and the ability of Bahamians to operate on the world stage.
Ingram says he's optimistic about the future of Summit.
We think there's brighter days ahead for not just Grand Bahama, but for the entire Bahamas and for Summit. And so we want to be positioned to take advantage of that, or to be in a position to move forward when the rest of the country and Grand Bahama especially moves forward.
This special alert going out to Bahamians residing and visiting Missouri. You are being advised to avoid the city of Ferguson in wake of the recent unrest. The warning coming in from the Consul General's office in Atlanta, which has jurisdiction over the state of Missouri. Consul General Randy Roll confirmed that his staff has been put on alert to prioritize calls from Ferguson, Missouri, following the death of 18-year-old Michael Brown. The teen was shot by a policeman last week. Since then, the city has been impacted by protest and looting. Mr. Roll is encouraging Bahamians in the area to refrain from getting involved in the riots and looting and allow the police and authorities to do their job. He says his office will continue to monitor the situation closely, and he's advising Bahamians in the area to register with the Consul General's office in Atlanta in the event of an emergency. Don't go away. Sports is up next with Ricardo Lightborn.
Hey everybody, it's Sports Time. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. This one goes out to Eliezer Barber J. Johnson. He's got the back to school regatta set for this weekend on there in New Providence. Eliezer doing it the right way. Well, the Bajra Swim Marathon celebrated 44 years in honor of the late Bernie Butler. A good swim for the competitors, and the fans enjoyed the celebrations. The Bernie Butler Bajra Swim Marathon was a family event and much, much more. Not just for the boating day, but a day of fierce competition. The award ceremonies was also a celebration for many. Lots of onlookers for the awards. The 6 and under champion, Little Ricardo Quant. Daniel Passion was the girls champion. The under 8 girls winner, all smiles, Zoe Williamson. And the boys champion, Marvin Johnson Jr., Tristan and Kellen Tarif, also right there in order. The ladies 29 and under, Paige Waugh, Katie Barrels, and Jessica Waugh. Stacy Bradley won the female 45 division, Nina Dormers, and also Stacy Francola, third place. The 45 men, well, the grouping here, Andrew Smith won, Romeo Seymour second, and Sean Napier third. The 59 female category was a fun group to watch. Debbie Reed is your champion, Nina second, and Vicky third. Get this, Robbie Butler won the men's 59 and under division, Mario Carey and Mark Davies in that order. They gave him a run. The 16 over division ladies, Sherry Benoit. Also, you had Adel Hill and Donna finishing third. The real knights of the swim, the 16 over crew, Craig Stewart won, Joe and Peter second and third. 80-year-old competitor Chris Rudemaker, he completed the race. The Bajra swim champion Sabrina Campbell won it. Aaliyah Hall finishing second, and Brianna Nesbitt third. The male champion Alec Robert Sands and Tyler Russell. John Bradley settled for third place.
I felt pretty confident swimming today, but it was a little tough. We didn't have any current going our way, so we were fighting the wind coming in the opposite direction. But we had a good swim. We're happy. I'm happy with the result.
The conditions were pretty bad. The waves were rushing, and the waves were rushing against you, and normally it would be best if they were with you, but it was difficult swimming.
The Bernie Butler Bajra Swim Marathon celebrated 44 years, and everyone had a blast. Well, let me tell you, the Bajra Swim Marathon, folks, as you do know, a celebration out there, Coral Beach was just a unique place to be, you see. Basically because the Bahamas Rescue Association has worked very hard in terms of search and rescue. And the families and friends of Bajra who supported the event in Grand Bahama answered that challenge. Bajra chairman, that's Justin Siskey, was all smiles. And the support that he got this year was pretty positive.
We had a great turnout. We had tents packages were all sold out. We had sponsors come out of the woodworks for this. Everybody so far we spoke to had a great time. We had a lot of swimmers that came down. We had 124 swimmers total, which is up by about 10 from last year. So it's a phenomenal turnout. We had swimmers from all over the world. The oldest swimmer was late 80s. Youngest swimmer, I think, was 4 years old. So it's a phenomenal family event, fun-filled. We had a great presentation by the Coast Guard that came down at 3 p.m. They spectacularly dazzled. Everybody's in awe. UNESCO came by with the Dolphins for a nice show for them. We also have a wonderful band on right now with the Uppercut Band. We appreciate everything that the people do. We're glad that the community can come together, support Basra.
And it was a wonderful event as well. The Abaco Softball Association with a busy weekend, folks, on the diamond. The Abaco Grocery Diamond Dolls defeating the Goldless Harvest Major Pain 13-7 in ladies play. Larica Saunders was 3 for 4 and 6 RBIs. The parents of the play, Dominique Rowe, got the win. The loss goes to Janice Roberts. The Diamond Dolls took the weekend twin bill, 11-4 with Major Pain. Rhonda Penn Eldon was 3 for 3 and also had a pretty good win, 5 RBIs. And also Tracy Aubrey was given the win and lost to Diana Strawn. Now, as far as the DNR Sluggers, my team beat somebody. We defeated the Hope Time Wreckers 2-1 in the men's affair. George Mills Jr. was on his game, 2 for 3. Thomas Blanks Kelly threw a 3-hitter and struck out 9 batters. Adrian Beth Henschel was tagged with the loss. And then we turned around and gave it away. The Hopetown Wreckers won the game over the DNR Sluggers 9-4. Aaron Knowles belted 2 home runs and 6 RBIs as part of a 4 for 4 game. Oscar Tugo Roll struck out 10 batters to get the win. Tommy Roll was issued the loss. And to my friends over there in Abaco, I don't know how I'm going to put to my DNR Sluggers, man. Y'all can win 1 and give up 6. Sound like Miami Dolphins. That's sports tonight.